Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 3 Under Par podcast. This is a golf podcast where
little white ball is life.
I am your host, Scotty T, and I'm joined by my co-host, T-Bone, just T-Bone for this episode. T-Bone, how's it going, my man?
Going good. Golf's back.
Golf is back. Golf's back in a big way. Huge week.
Love it.
Man, electric week. KJ's not with us. For those who, if this is your first time listening, thanks for joining in. We appreciate you. Usually we have a third host, hence the name 3 Under Par. KJ is assuming a new role and responsibility within his company, so he's going to be a little bit busier. He's on the road this week, so that's why he's not here. But he was pretty on point, though. Yeah. Well, he called me today, and I gave him the pass. I was like, dude, go make a good impression. Go do what you got to do. We'll be here. So KJ will be back soon, hopefully. But for scheduling purposes and whatnot, just me and T-Bone. T-Bone, did you have a good weekend, man?
That was good. We got to play some golf, which we'll talk about later. I got to watch some golf, and golf is back. So can't complain.
It's huge.
Happy to be here.
We are deep in golf season now, I'd say. Personally, since we're down here in Houston, Texas, middle of June, not overly hot yet. We have days, but come July and August, it's going to be brutal out there. So we played in the Next Gen City Tour event. So shout out to Nextgengolf. And they have tournaments all across the country. And so if you want to play in those events, you can actually use our promo code 3 Under Par. The number 3 Under Par, that'll give you $10 off your entry fee. So we played in it. We're going to break that down. Spoiler alert, we won big time. We shot minus 21 for 2-man scrambles combined. So that was pretty cool. T-Bone, were you upset that KJ and I came in with a lower score than you by 1?
Yeah. I had no expectations, though. Do we want to touch on this at the end, or are we jumping into this?
That's our preview. Yeah, sneak preview.
Yeah, they beat me by 1. It hurts, but I had low expectations. But we won the tournament overall.
We did. And also, I don't know if you know this, Scaff, but we are the number 1 ranked scramble team in the country right now.
Wow.
Boom.
Everyone's talking about it.
That's it. Shout out the Nextgengolf. If you want to come at us, come at us. We're 3 Under Par. If you go to the scramble division, go to the top because we're number 1, baby.
Huge.
Massive. But Colonial was this week. Golf back in a huge way, as we said off the top of the show. I'm loving it. A ton to break down. There's a lot going on to it. But before we dive into all of that, follow us on social media at 3 Under Par Pod. That is number 3 Under Par Pod on Twitter and Instagram. The DMs are open there. We got some good feedback from this week. I think a lot of people were tuning in to Colonial and the Charles Schwab Invitational just because the golf is one of the first sports back. And I'll tell you what, man, there's nothing better than Sunday afternoon, coming back from church, just watching golf. It was awesome. It really was. So we got some good questions, some good feedback from our listenership. We're going to go through some of those questions as the show goes on. Also, I want to write us a review on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, T-Bone. This is what I'm going to do for those who write reviews on Apple Podcasts for the next 2 weeks. So for the next 2 episodes, if you write a review on Apple Podcasts, not only will we read it live on the show, but that will enter you into a contest to win a box of Pro Vs.
Wow.
So if you write the review on Apple Podcasts, just write a sentence or 2 on what you like about the show. That will enter you to a chance to win a box of Pro V1s, courtesy of 3 Under Par. So write that review.
That's big.
And then,
that's a good incentive right there. I mean, not that hard. Write it up.
Write it up.
Get some balls.
Little white balls, life. We say this all the time, so why not get some little white balls? And then we will just write that review. It'll give you a chance. And look, if you're the only one who writes that review, then look, you're getting a box of Pro V1s. That's sick. So, but we encourage a lot of people, all of our listenership, to go do that. So you'll have a chance to win some Pro V1s now, which is pretty sick because that's the ball I play. I mean, hashtag no free ads, but I play Pro Vs. You play Pro Vs too, right, Scaff?
Sure. Whatever I find yep.
Nice.
Preferably Pro Vs. Yep.
No doubt. So that is there. If you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button. Hopefully we'll have another video coming out on Friday. That is my plan as of now. So comment below on what you thought of Colonial, and then click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the videos that we're posting up on Fridays and when we upload the video podcast on Tuesdays. So, T-Bone, where do you want to start with Colonial, man? There's so much to break down.
I think I want to start with Bryson.
Really? You want to start off with Bryson? I mean,
Yeah.
How about
I can't believe it.
Before we do that, let's talk about the winner. Can we give the winner the props?
Okay, sure.
Daniel Berger comes out on top, and I don't know a single person who picked Daniel Berger to win this event this week. I really don't. And that's Daniel Berger. If you would have told me he would have won this week, I would have thought you were nuts. That guy, I don't want to say came out of nowhere because he strung together some really good golf, played some phenomenal golf. He was PGA Tour Rookie of the Year back in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously he can ball. It's good to see him back. Good to see him back in the mix. What'd you think of Daniel Berger's win, T-Bone?
I always looked at Daniel Berger in the kind of JT Spieth kind of group, a little behind them, but same age group. Great golfer, and then I don't know what's really happened the last 2 years. He's been kind of off the face of the planet. No one really knows what's been going on, but he's definitely been struggling.
Well, he had some injuries.
I guess okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
but
he had some major wrist injuries, and if you watched anything at all on Sunday, he's got a weird action at the top of his swing that is, if you have a wrist injury, golfers, like, those things don't go away very easily. And especially for somebody like that with that top of the backswing when he's so, like, flat laid off. But it's different, dude, and it works. It works great. So big shouts to Daniel Berger for overcoming that.
Yeah. But, yeah, you could see when the tournament was over, super emotional. So, that was a big win for him. But
I think it's interesting.
I wouldn't have even known he was playing in the tournament. I had no idea. Couldn't have been on anyone's radar. But maybe strung together a few good tournaments right before quarantine, I think.
Yep.
But other than that, didn't know anything that was going on.
Yeah,
with
he had been
Berger
playing
in the last
some
few
really
years.
good golf. One thing that's weird about golf injuries in particular, and the no laying up guys are talking about this, is that if somebody's injured, you don't really know about it. It's like they just kind of disappear. Like, if you go back and listen to our couple episodes ago with JJ Collin, one of the reasons why he had to take a step back and he won Korn Ferry Player of the Year in 2011 is that he got bit by the injury bug a little bit, and he's starting to make a comeback. Go follow JJ Collin, dude. He's overplaying some Monday qualifiers right now. He's so funny on social media. But, yeah, officially friend of the show, JJ Collin. But, guys, there's no, like, injury report in golf. Similar to the NFL or NBA, you'll have guys, granted, fantasy football has a big reason for that, in the NFL in particular, but there's nothing like that in golf. So if guys just take a step back, get bit by the injury bug, you have no idea. So it's good to see Daniel Berger come back and play well and beat, dude, a star-studded field. The best players in the world were playing. Everybody was there except Tiger Woods. And he won. It was sick.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It was a great win.
We can talk Bryson first, and then we'll go from there. So, T-Bone, what you think about Bryson?
Huge. Fucking huge. I think the most accurate tweet I saw was that he ate Brian Harmon.
Yes. I think that was Kyle Porter who said that.
I mean, it had been, I guess, 3 months since golf was last played, but I mean, his neck, arms, gut, like, he is just so damn big.
Thick boy.
And he looks like a linebacker. And I guess it's all paying off because the guy was bombing the hell out of the ball.
Number one stroke scanned off the tee this week.
He was like carrying it 300. Yeah, it was. I think Justin Rose said he had carried one, 300 so yards off the first tee, and Bryson was like 40 yards past him. Um, so I think it's interesting to see where this plays out because I feel like that was a huge no-no back in the day, bulking up like that for golf, and
Right.
you lose your touch and all that stuff. But I feel like people are kind of moving more and more towards this. If you look at Brooks, he's massive. Tiger's always been pretty big, and Bryson's taken it to a whole new level. And kind of curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's really interesting because he said that right before all this went down. He was like, "Yeah, like I'm going to use this time to get in the gym, get a lot longer." And like, kudos to him, he actually did it. Like, oh gosh, he almost looks like almost uncomfortably big.
Yeah.
He's like walking around like,
Another thing I
just
saw, it said he said he's drinking around 5 protein shakes a day.
like that's not. I don't know, like that. I don't want to get into. I don't want to pivot too hard from this, but look, for the short term, it works clearly, dude. Like he has
Yeah.
put on like 30 yards just from last year to this year. And people are always looking for ways to get longer. And
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We've talked about this in a quarter of our episodes last year. It's why is Brooks winning? And it's just because he's almost hitting it past all the trouble. If he does hit it into trouble, there's not, at majors at least, there's not like a lot of fescue around it, like kind of where he's hitting it and can get away with it when he's hitting wedges and blowing it past everyone and stuff like that. And it's almost like that's becoming golf now. And he's gone die hard with this approach. So
dude, he dove
that's crazy.
head first into the deep end. And he's doing
Was
it,
it
man.
also 5.5 degree driver? I mean,
It's disgusting. It's
so
almost offensive.
that
Not
was
really.
one of the that was like my biggest takeaway from the tournament. I just when I saw him, I was like, how did you get there?
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was a big part of the tournament that stood out to me. I think the next logical point of conversation we got to talk about is lip outs from this weekend, specifically yesterday.
The two people that I wanted to talk about next were Morikawa and Xander. Dude, Xander's lip outs on 17, unbelievable. Like gut wrenching. I don't know what else to say about that, dude. Like that's why golfers have trust issues. That thing was like halfway down the bottom of the hole and still came out. Like I don't understand how that happens. Like golf is a bitch sometimes, and that proves why.
You should have heard the sound I made. I don't think I've ever made before. It's just kind of like a like I couldn't I could not believe it. And the worst part was before we get to Morikawa's lip out, both of the camera views were the putter face or just behind the putter face facing the hole, which makes it like that much more nerve wracking. You just see it happening so close. God, it was brutal. But if you look at Xander's, when you look at him actually putting and not from behind the club face, you can see when he hits it, he's kind of like, but he probably thought it was going to go in. He kind of has that little hesitation,
Dude, he
just
started
whip around.
he started walking. He tried to walk it in, and it was like, oh gosh, just tough scene, tough scene.
Yeah,
Like we said, like you hate to see it. Oh my gosh. And uh, so 15. What's crazy about Xander, dude, is that he missed the playoff by one, and he made bogey on 15 and 17 with essentially wedges in his hands.
yeah,
Like if he just makes par on those two holes, he wins the tournament. And he made a bomb on 15 to save that bogey. So
yeah,
like one could argue that okay, then that bomb offsetted the 3-footer he missed on 17, so it all would have
yeah.
been about the same either way. But still, man, like it seemed like he was struggling with the speed a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Xander, he's one of those guys. If you're familiar with golf and you follow golf pretty closely, which I assume most people are listening to this podcast, you know who Xander is. He's won some pretty big time tournaments, including the Tour Championship. So, and he's going to be around for a while. He really is. So get used to seeing Xander up there, but missing putts like that's what keeps you up at night.
It was also brutal. I thought it was going to be a great ending to have him make that like another 30-footer on 18 to tie, and he left it short, and it was like, what a brutal way to end it.
Like one rotation short.
Yeah.
Oof.
But
Tough.
but again, probably I don't know which. Now we can transition a little with this question. What was the more painful lip out, Xander's or Morikawa's?
In terms of the actual lip out, it's got to be Xander, just because it was a full, like more than 360. In terms of the situation, though, it's got to be Morikawa.
Yeah, I don't know how great of a putt he hit. Like that lipped out so hard. Probably had too much pace going.
Yeah, too
into the
much
hole,
pace.
anyways.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to make that either way.
He had missed a lot coming in as well. What do you have? He had like a 15-footer on 18, 10, 15-footer to win. He missed another short one on the back nine. But that's always a brutal way to end a playoff. A little 3-footer, and you just do a little fist knock, fist bump, and
it's like, oh,
COVID style, and
there you
get
go.
out of there.
The COVID style, congratulations.
Yeah, but there were also not lip outs, but Bryson and Justin Rose, they had burned the edge pretty hard too, coming in on 18.
Man,
So
that putt that Justin Rose missed on 18, just it looked like it is in the heart, and then that thing dove so fast. So that's why I think big shouts to Daniel Berger, because he birdied 18. He was the only person who really made a putt on 18, at least coming down, if those in contention, that got him into that playoff. So, Xander, look, solid week, good tournament. Just hopefully scars won't develop from that. Morikawa, though, that was really the first time that I've seen Morikawa play. Dude, that guy, I saw a couple takes on Twitter that were like, he might be the best he might be the best iron player since Tiger. And that guy's swing is so pure. He played with Spieth on Sunday at Spieth's. It's not his home course, but like you could
more or less
home tournament for him.
Yeah.
And Morikawa just flat out played better.
Yeah.
He's younger. He doesn't have the pedigree as like a Justin Thomas or Jordan Spieth yet, but dude, that guy's gonna be around for a long time. Very long time.
What is he? 2022?
I think. I'm Googling.
He's young.
I'll check.
Yeah. I think another takeaway from this tournament is a lot of guys disappeared. I mean, that leaderboard was stacked after the third round, and a ton of people just dropped off. Rory with the 41. I think on the front nine. I don't know what happened to Harold Varner. Spieth kind of went away, battled back a little bit, but okay.
By the way,
still pretty young, but a lot of people just kind of disappeared. The leaderboard was really stacked, especially going into the weekend after the third round even, and some of those guys just disappeared.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, we were talking about missed putts. Bryson, he missed some putts. Bryson had a chance to win it, dude. He's right there. And he bogeyed 17 as well. Said he just got like a flyer lie on 16. And, it happens. That's golf. But for somebody who's so precise, sometimes science doesn't work like that. But, yeah, so the leaderboard, Berger, Morikawa, Jason Kokrak. How about that? Just like coming out of nowhere.
He burned the edge on 18 too.
Yeah, he sure did.
There are a lot of guys that almost got into that playoff.
Bryson, Justin Rose, Xander, Bubba Watson, Patrick Reed. Bubba Watson he finished too early. Like I didn't see a single shot from Bubba Watson, but it's okay. Patrick Reed, Gary Woodland was there, Sung J M and JT Poston, Spieth and Justin Thomas rounded out the top 10 with that. So, star-studded field, and freaking Daniel Berger won. Phil Mickelson was in the mix. Ricky Fowler was there, but he didn't even make the cut. Dustin Johnson, he seemed uninterested. But yeah, Rory McIlroy. Let's talk about that for a hot sec. 41. 41 on the front nine. Like, are you kidding me?
But he does this all the time.
What do you mean?
I I feel like there's so many tournaments where, I mean, he still probably had a top 30 finish,
Let's
and
see.
I mean, I'd say normally it's not quite that bad. It's normally around a top 10 finish, but he'll just have a string of holes, usually not a full 9, but he'll just totally play himself out of the tournament.
Right.
I think that's what he did in every major last year. Those backdoor top 10s that we talked about, but I think there's another stat out there that it was his first non-top 10 in like a crazy, crazy long time. So
And like
he's still so
over a
damn
year.
good. Yeah, he's still so damn good. Best player in the world. It's not a big deal.
And I
But
think that's what a course like Colonial will do, is that, if I'm not mistaken, on Friday, he shot around even on the first day. On Friday, he goes out there and shoots like 62 or
yeah,
63. And that brings him back into contention, which is pretty solid. So, yeah, 41 round 4, shot 63 round 2, and but then he comes back with 1 under. Like, that's what Colonial is. Like, if you're on with those guys, you can go get Colonial. It's the
mm-hmm.
old style golf course, as Bryson showed, and Rory and all those long hitters, which I think was kind of cool seeing the top players in the world play a course like Colonial. They haven't really done that in the last few years. And so if you're on, you can get a lot of birdies. You can go out, you can get after it. But if you're not on, because I think there's only 2 par 5s out there, it can bleed you out. It can get pretty tough out there with all those par 4s. So
Yeah.
uh, let's see. Who are some other highlights we're going to talk about? I want to give a big shout out to Harold Varner. Harold Varner the third was leading after day 1, which was pretty solid. I think pretty much, I don't know a single person who doesn't like Harold Varner. Like, he's a really good player, pretty young guy, pretty dynamic, sponsored by Jordan, which is pretty cool. So I thought that was pretty sick. One of the guys on Twitter, so shout out to Shannon Glidwell, he said that Harold Varner hit 18 of 18 greens on Thursday. That's a clinic, dude. That is a clinic, especially at a course like Colonial, which has traditionally very small greens. And that 3, 4, and 5 stretch is tough.
I will
Tough.
say that's something I'll never do in my entire life. Hit 18 greens.
I have
Ever.
not done that. Have you ever had 18 pars in a
No,
ride?
hell no.
No chance?
No.
Yeah. I got close one time. I got 16. But it's like one of those, you feel like you're on, but it's like I can't tell if I'm frustrated or not. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm having a lot of pars. I got a good round going, but I want to make some birdies, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out to Harold Varner the third. Uh, yeah, DJ nowhere to be seen, which is fine. Like I said, just didn't seem uninterested. Let's talk about Mr. Spieth here, Scaff Daddy. What did you think of Jordan Spieth's performance?
I think good stuff. He's making putts. He was in contention, at least going into the last day. You know, anything. I think this was a drastic improvement from what we've seen.
So positive takeaways.
Yeah, positive week for Jordan. I think this was a good step in the right direction. He looked good. The putter
Yeah,
was working.
the putter was working. I think he finished like first in strokes gained putting, but then again, he had a 4 putt in there. He had it out of bounds, I believe, on 14 or 15. That when he's having it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and
Yeah.
so I'm with you. I think overall, good takeaway, solid week. That guy has been playing some terrible golf, like dog shit golf. And so for him to be back in contention, back on the leaderboard, that was good to see. There are
Sure.
things he needs to shore up, though. I still think he is a mental midget. He is a basket case and can't get out of his own way. And I want to give credit to Neil on No Laying Up. He was saying that he's a little worried about Spieth still, because it's not like there's one thing that was wrong. It's like a duff chip here that leads to a bogey. A freaking 4 putt. hitting it out of bounds. Like there were different aspects of the game that were struggling as
Yeah.
opposed to one.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
I think
Yeah.
that's a very fair criticism, but
Yeah, he had a comment too about his mental game. He's like, I wish I could still just play like I was a kid and just had fun like playing. He's like, I
really, he
don't.
said that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it could be an issue.
Kyle tells me all the time, get out of your own way, just go out and play golf. And I understand like Spieth, that maybe that's not a fair comparison because he's playing at the highest level of golf out there. And look, dude, he's a 3-time major championship winner. He knows how to get it done.
Yeah.
I think that's almost even more frustrating though, when you realize I've done this before. Why can't I do it again? Find the magic, whatever he's got to do. I think he'll get there though. He's young enough. I don't think he's developed the mental scars enough. Like it seems like there's some forming,
Yep.
but we were saying that this break might have been the best thing that could have happened to him. And overall positive takeaways. Swing looked good. Just need to shore up a couple of things still. And then I think he'll be all right.
Think so. It's not 2019 either. Remember, he was canceled.
He's no longer canceled. Pretty stout stuff. So, yeah.
It could be good.
Those were some of the biggest takeaways, players to watch, players to see, overall thoughts. So, golf is back. No person tested positive for the coronavirus this week. So, another positive note. The PGA Tour is showing other sports leagues it can be done and done safely. There were a couple of reports that were like, oh, people aren't acknowledging social distancing or proper PGA Tour protocols in there, blah, 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 whatever. I really don't care. Like, nobody tested positive. Everybody stay safe out there. It was a good week overall.
I don't want to be insensitive about this stuff, but it was like the interview with Berger at the end of the round. What was it? Dottie Pepper's like 8 feet away from him, and you just got the cameraman with like a 8-foot extension of a microphone. I was like,
it was a little strange.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. But
so, Scav, noticeably because of the coronavirus, no fans this week out on the PGA Tour. What did you think about that? Did it work? Did it not work? What were your thoughts there?
I think it's fine. It's not as fun. I think especially for the players. But I think even Xander said something like, honestly, it was nice not having them there on 17 when I lipped out because he would have had a lot more oohs and ahs that would have pissed me off.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I thought it was kind of cool also how you just had the random balconies that had cheers going on.
Big shout out to those fans.
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
Up their own scaffolding or whatever.
Yeah, that was cool.
On. So yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously you want them there, but golf is fine without them for the time being.
I think knowing that it's a temporary thing is good. Like, I thought this week was great. I really did. I think I said it last week, but this, in my opinion, was golf in its perfect form, or as close to perfect form as you can for an imperfect game. And I think it delivered. You got to see some shots that people usually wouldn't hit because they were there where grandstands usually are. Like, especially when it came to number 9, that pin over the water was tucked back right. There's usually grandstands right behind there. But you saw a lot of guys going long, and they had to make that chip back up instead of getting it dropped over to an easier area. I think it was really good to see, especially Thursday, Friday, and a little bit Saturday. Didn't really notice it. I really didn't. It was not many fans are generally out there anyway, and with how many trucks that the broadcast requires and all that stuff, like, it felt like a regular PGA Tour event. You had the camera guys you usually see in the fairways and whatnot. The only time where I kind of was like, oh, this would be pretty cool to have fans is on 18. Seeing people finish on 18 because of the clubhouses right there. Everybody would be surrounding the green. That was really the only time when that really even hit me, the last probably 4 groups coming down 18. It was like, oh, yeah, I guess there would be fans there. Other than that, I thought it was fine. I really did. And if people think I'm stupid about that, like, sorry.
Also thinking about Xander's comment, the way this tournament ended, I think was a good situation not have fans because it was just like a bunch of heartbreak. So when you have Xander's lip out, you don't have people like commenting. When you have Morikawa's lip out on a playoff, like that would have been horrible for him if you have the whole tournament gallery waiting there for him.
It was
The
almost
times it's
anticlimactic.
and the times it's going to suck not having fans is if someone makes a birdie to win the tournament. Like
Right.
if Berger would have made, chipped in there or something to win the tournament and you have just a few claps, that's going to kind of suck. But the way that the tournament ended, I think it was fine. I think it was better to not have fans, honestly.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Overall, we need it back, and I guess at some point it's going to happen, but it's going to depend on the tournament for the rest of the year, so we'll see.
I want to give a shout out to Justin. Justin's a loyal listener on the pod. He said it was nice seeing players actually having to hit from bad lies when they hit bad shots, not trampled rough. That's a really good point because where fans usually walk or whatnot, like especially on number 5, dude, like that par 5 is brutal. Dogleg right. Usually fans are down there on the right, and especially come Sunday, dude, because fans are walking there the whole week. The rough is trampled down. Like, dude, it is up. People were hitting it through the fairway, getting some buried lies through the trees. Like, that's really good point. And then he also said he really liked fans not yelling stupid shit after tee shots. Like, mashed potatoes, get in the
Yeah.
hole. There's always the get in the hole guy. I did not miss the get in the hole guy this week.
Yeah, that was nice.
So shout out to Justin on that. Couldn't agree more. So let's see. There were a couple other questions. Before we get to the questions, the broadcast, Jim Nance, big shout out to him. I thought he did great. I honestly didn't even skip a beat, in my opinion. They're like, oh, we have minimal broadcasts. Shout out to CBS for getting that right. Still too many commercials. Gosh, too many commercials. It's almost like every 2 minutes, they only show 2 minutes of golf and boom, like you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it, but it's hard to show everybody. As I mentioned, Bubba Watson finished top 10 and we didn't even see a shot from Bubba Watson. Rory McIlroy shot 41. I want to see that train wreck. The number 1 player in the world. He's in contention. Just, I think 2 shots back at the time or something like that. He plays himself out of the tournament. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So miss seeing that a little bit. But with it being so packed leaderboard, I understand that you can't give everybody the airtime. But there wasn't that much airtime to give in general, though, which is still really frustrating. And I understand that's being a dead horse at this point. But those are my thoughts there. Also, Ricky Fowler being mic'd up, I thought was decent. Pretty much like all we want to hear is player caddy conversation. That's about it. And he didn't even make the cut. So, sorry, Ricky.
Bummer. Yep.
I think Nance even said that they offered every single player and only Ricky said yes. But then Adam Hadwin comes in and said, I volunteered, but y'all said no.
Oh, brutal.
So Jim Nance made it a point to say on Sunday's broadcast that Adam Hadwin was going to be mic'd up at the RBC Heritage this week. So
okay, nice.
Shout out to Adam Hadwin on there. So, couple of questions that we got from the listenership that I told them we would go through. This is from Drew. Shout out to Drew. Little listener of the pod, friend of the show. If you look, T-Bone playing some simulator golf on Friday night. That was
Friday night.
Place.
Yep.
Drew said, is the hole on 17 cursed? With the lip outs. The hole on Sunday on 17 was a curse. I venture to say yes. Somebody put some bad juju on that.
I think it might be cursed if it was just a normal putt. But that was the biggest putt of the tournament. Mm. And
so is that just
happened.
Golf, in your opinion? That's just golf and pressure? It's not cursed?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Man,
I think it could be.
That was hard pen.
Yeah. I think it could be.
Hard pen. This is from Will. He said, what happened to Spieth? We kind of talked about it earlier. It's just mental basket case, man. He'll be all right though. Too many mental errors because it's
good step in the right direction.
Whenever you slice it out of bounds, in my opinion, that's a mental error. Like it's not. Yes, it's physical in the sense that you make a swing at it, but like mentally, you just had to like just black out for 2 seconds or however long it takes to swing a golf club, and that's just if Jordan, what did he finish? I think I exited out of the leaderboard on accident.
I'll say
Jordan
he was 12 under, 3 off the lead.
Jordan finished 11 under, so he's 4 off the lead. But if he doesn't slice it out of bounds, then it's a little different ball game there, coming down the stretch with a few holes to play. Mm-hmm. So that was that. Can Harold Varner continue his hot streak from the first 2 rounds into another tournament? Harold Varner is really interesting to me because he has a tendency to play well on Thursday, Friday. Like if you look at the PGA Championship, he's in the final group with Brooks Koepka and then just lays an egg. Mm-hmm. Kind of same thing with this weekend. He didn't completely collapse, I would say. But, he had a pretty solid lead and finished up T19. Like, I don't know if he's a killer. Like, I don't know if he has a killer instinct, but maybe he can develop it. But he has a tendency to fall back on the weekends, and I don't know what he can do to fix that. What do you think, Scaff?
Who are we talking about?
Harold Varner, the third, if you're paying attention.
I don't think he has enough reps. I feel like he's been in this situation before in a major or something. I think it was a major or some big tournament, and he's just kind of disappears. PGA. It's almost like he's not even loses it, like by a shot or two. It's just he totally disappears. So I think he just needs to get more reps in that position, and it'll play itself out. I mean, you got to be good enough to be in the position. So I think he'll be all right.
Right. Did Bryson need a person? We said yes. He ate Brian Harmon.
Yeah, Brian Harmon.
So some other ones is another one is Spieth. Okay, a lot of concern about Spieth. I wasn't that concerned about Spieth.
No, I think it was great for him to even be near the lead this first tournament back. I think it's great.
Right. Exactly. Overall positive. Yes. The 4 putts and chunk chips and all and out of bounds stuff, like not good. Mm-hmm. But he'll be all right.
Yep.
This one is from Greg out in California. Shout out to Greg. He said, have any of you played Colonial and beat any of the top golfers' scores there? Have you played Colonial?
No and no. I haven't played it. I haven't played it, so I wouldn't know.
I did play Colonial one time. And soft flex, shot 1 under. No big deal. Whenever I played it, the greens were sanded. They had just punched and sanded the greens. So I'm thinking, great. Like the one time I get to go play Colonial, they punch and sanded the greens. They were still so pure. They were so pure. I made everything that I looked at. So soft flex, I beat my friend Kramer. Kramer played this week at the tournament and had a miscut. So I shot lower than Kramer. That's what it comes down. I'm not saying I'm better than Kramer, but I shot lower than him.
What would you have shot in the tournament?
Really high. Really high. I don't know if I would have broken 80.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I don't know. So, Scav, do you think you could break 80 on a PGA Tour course like Colonial?
No.
No? Can you break 80 in general?
Yeah.
That's good.
What was more difficult, Merido or Colonial?
Merido for sure.
Really?
I saw that question coming. Yeah, Merido. Merido was like, just don't even try. Just good luck.
Yeah.
Just like you're just gonna take a punch to the face and hopefully you'll wake up tomorrow. And Colonial was fine. Colonial was a shorter course. And so that's why, I like seeing the longer guys and the best players in the world play it. So, Colonial is so sick, though. Classic old-timey golf course. I'm really glad it turned out to be a good week. The stars virtually showed up outside of a handful, but that's okay. That's golf. That is not seeing Phil Mickelson or DJ or any of those types of guys up at the top always stinks, but it happens. So is there anything else you want to add for Colonial?
Think we got it.
I think we touched it all. If we missed anything, let us know. You can write that in review. If you write the review, you get some Pro V1s. So RBC Heritage next week. Pretty much everybody, same deal. Virtually the same field, I think. Maybe a few people are in and out here or there. If I missed anybody, sorry. But RBC Heritage, what do you think? Who do you like for RBC Heritage this week?
It's kind of, from what I can tell, it's again not like a bomber's course. Kuchar has played well there a lot and is a previous winner. So I kind of like Kuchar for some reason as a dark horse.
Okay.
But I want to keep riding this Bryson train. I was very entertained watching him hit the big ball. So
Definitely.
I like him this week. I think he's one of the higher favorites going in. So I like those two guys. And I'm not going to pick Rory but
Rory's got the best odds to win. 11-1 right now. Justin Thomas 14, Bryson 14-1, John Rahm 18-1, Schauffele 18-1, Morikawa was at 25-1. I think those are decent odds. And then Rose, Webb, and Hideki Matsuyama, Patrick Reed, and Sung J M are 28-1. All good.
There were rumors that Tiger was maybe going to play in this? Has anything come from that?
Tiger's not playing, officially not playing in this event. Yes, because his
yacht was going towards,
yacht was headed up the East Coast. Looked like it was parked pretty close to RBC Heritage, and no dice. Unfortunately, not playing. Again, I don't think we'll see Tiger.
He just broke up pretty bad there.
Oh, sorry. I don't see Tiger playing until Memorial.
Yep.
That would be my thoughts. But I think that Webb Simpson's going to have a bounce back week.
Okay. How do you even do? I didn't really see him around the leaderboard.
Not good. He didn't make the cut.
Okay.
So, but
Bummer.
RBC Heritage, a little bit shorter course. East Coast on the coastline. So it's going to be really windy. Plays similarly to Colonial in terms of the actual course, but the wind's going to be a big factor. Yeah, I like Bryson's pretty good pick, but I think Webb Simpson is going to be due for a bounce back, as well as I'm going to go with, I'm on the spot here, Gary Woodland.
Okay.
That stinger, dude.
Yeah.
Hellacious Seeds, just, ugh. That stinger season is just so good.
Could be.
That was off the cuff here. But, yeah, dude, like, if we wanted to, we could be like, oh, let's go Rory McIlroy. Let's go Justin Thomas every single week. Like, that gets boring. Like, I want to go with some not so good picks. So, okay, let's take this from the no laying up guys. Who's not going to win? Who's going to essentially, we're trying to guess who's going to finish second. Let's fly close to the sun. Who's going to be in contention but not win? Who is not going to win this week?
But who's going to do the best? Who's going to finish second? My pick to finish second?
Virtually, yes.
I'm
going to say Tony Finau.
Okay. I like that.
I'm going to say Tony Finau is not going to win this week.
I'm going to say Patrick Reed. He's been lurking around, sniffing around the leaderboard where no one wants him. But I'm in a good golf high. I think a good way for it to keep it going is Patrick to just miss out on a RBC Heritage title.
Definitely. You know who might be a decent long shot to win this week? Abraham Ancer. He's playing some good golf. Abraham Ancer. So those are thoughts on Colonial, RBC Heritage. So I think we've talked a little bit longer than what we were planning on doing. There's a lot to break down, though, from this last week. So we're going to talk some personal golf, though, with Next Gen Golf. So if you're going to tune out here, that's great. Go write that review, though, on Apple Podcasts, again, to enter into a contest to get a box of Pro V1s or a golf ball you're choosing. But now let's go Pro Vs. So we played in a Next Gen Golf event, City Tour event this last week. City Tour, we've had Chris Hart on the show. They are friends of the podcast. And we just played in the 2-man scramble event, and we won. It was awesome.
One
So,
by,
T-Bone,
not to brag, 1 by 15.
yes.
Okay. Yep. It was a blast. It was a 2-man, 3 groups of a 2-man scramble, if I'm saying that right. So we took the 2 lowest
It's a little confusing.
scrambles. We took the 2 lowest scramble scores, and Scott and Kyle shot 61, and me and this guy named Taco, who I had no idea who he was or where he came from, but you guys just told me you're playing with Taco, so I was like, all right. I drove up into the parking lot as the carts are being shipped off to their holes, and we had a blast, and we're a great team. He hits the piss out of the ball, and I can't hit a driver. So our games worked pretty well. It also
Shot 10
makes me
under, good
realize,
round.
10 under, missed you guys by 1 shot.
Ding.
But it was fun playing in a tournament, even if it was scramble. Even a 2-man scramble is a little more nerve-wracking than just a normal scramble. So you're having to, I mean, if you miss a 3-footer, it's on you. So
Yes.
it was good to be in a tournament that's pretty laid back, but also still competitiveness to it.
I totally agree with that. It's good knowing you're playing a tournament, but it has a very normal feel to it. So if you're not familiar, you can do a best ball division or a scramble division. We chose to do the scramble division. And no big deal. We're the number 1 ranked scramble team in the country right now. Boom.
Also, if you didn't see the Instagram post, we had the most fire shirts out there. We were wearing these Roosevelt's Macho Man Randy Savage short sleeve button downs. They were pretty money. We're the only team that had team shirts, so the
Team
tournament was
uniforms.
basically over before it started.
We won the mental battle, I think,
Yep.
before it even got started. There was actually another team that was wearing pretty close to matching stuff, but we were all matching.
Yep. We looked
Shirts were
good.
comfortable. It was weird playing in a button down, I will say.
Yeah.
But hey, you look good, you feel
It
good, you
was.
play good.
Yeah. I
That's what my
loved
high
it.
school golf coach said.
Yeah.
That's
I
why he
loved it.
made us wear pants. My high school golf coach made us wear pants in like
Okay.
April and May here in Houston. Like it was so hot.
That's a little much.
Finally, I think for the state tournament, because it was about 95 degrees and really humid in Waco, we were like, Coach, can we please wear shorts? He said yes. So we got that. But
Nice.
yeah, no, it was fun. Shout out to Next Gen Golf. Again, low key, if you are like a young professional or I don't know, just in the working world, and one thing that's great is that they're on the weekend. We played what would probably be a usual green fee at this nice course here in Houston, a public course too. And we paid the entry fee and got a sleeve of balls and went and played a little bit of competition golf. So it was a blast. Really well run, I would say, in the sense that they just let us do our thing out there. And that's what you really want, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it was good.
I think that exempts us into the national tournament, national championship, Kiwa Island this December. Boom. We'll see if I make it or not. TBD.
Yeah, that's up in the air. It'd be fun. We'll have to think about that one.
We'll keep y'all posted on that. But again, thanks Next Gen Golf for hooking us up. If you are interested, just go to nextgengolf.org, seriously, and go look up your area. They got tournaments literally all over the country. Use our promo code 3UnderPar, and that will get you $10 off your entry fee and registration fee. Again, we're trying this out, see if it works or not. We're just fans of Next Gen Golf, so we want to help promote them, grow this thing, because it's pretty fun. And look, the national championship last year was at Pinehurst. This year is at Kiwa Island. It's pretty cool. Like, you get to play some really good courses, and you could use it as an excuse to your significant other as a boys' golf trip. Boom. That's what we're going with here. So, T-Bone, that's all I got, man. There was one other thing that maybe I wanted to talk about, but Don't know if we have the time to.
I'm tired. I thought this was going to be a 30-minute episode, but fuck, golf is back.
There's a lot
Full
to
swing.
break down, dude. Let's
Yeah.
go. Golf
Was
is
good.
back. Fantastic. Before we go out there and take on the world and go shoot 3 under par multiple times, we go write that review on Apple Podcast. Again, Pro V1s headed your way if you write that review or enter you in the contest to do it. And then it does help us. So, because we're a lot of podcasts have taken a hit here, and our numbers have not dropped significantly, which is great. Actually, they've grown, which is fantastic. And so that's thanks to you, the listenership. It's all about you right now. Hence the Box Pro V1s. We want to help grow this thing because we got some ideas. Hopefully a 3 under par tournament coming this fall. If you're here in the Houston area, that is in the works at the moment. And so stay tuned for that. Write that review, subscribe on YouTube. Hopefully some good, fun videos are coming. Scaff, we need to get together and talk about that. We'll do that at some point. And so we appreciate y'all. Golf is back. Tuning in. Ton the breakdown. Give Colonial preview. RBC Heritage preview. Colonial review. There it is. Whatever. All right, we're talking too long. You know the drill. Tell a friend about the podcast too. We thank you. We appreciate you. Scott, T-Bone, good work, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. And remember,
Little white ball is life.